In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 NBA games happening on March 29, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Sacramento Kings versus Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic, currently sitting at 35-39, will welcome the Sacramento Kings, who hold a 36-37 record, for a matchup between two teams desperately trying to stay in the playoff hunt. These teams last met back on February 5th, when the Magic pulled off a convincing 130-111 win in Sacramento, despite being a 4-point underdog. On the injury front, the Kings will once again be without Jake LaRavia, who remains sidelined due to a bone bruise. The Magic, on the other hand, have already ruled out both Cole Anthony and Jalen Suggs for this game. Sacramento has managed to stay relatively healthy in recent weeks, but they've still struggled to find consistency. Their big win over the Trail Blazers was much needed, but it came after a rough stretch of games. Orlando, meanwhile, put together an impressive 3-game winning streak before running into a wall against the Mavericks in their last outing. I can't say I'm all that eager to back the Magic here. Their offense is unreliable, and they have too many ugly losses on their resume. Just the other night, they lost at home to the Mavericks despite being favored by 7 points. Still, it's hard to understand why the Kings are road favorites in this one. Sacramento has had its own issues with consistency and hasn't been much better against the spread, posting a 29-41-3 against the spread record this season. The line feels off, and I have to lean toward the Magic here. They've got home court, and we're getting some extra value with them as underdogs. 2 underwhelming teams going head-to-head. I'll go with the home dog. As our first pick for this matchup, the Orlando Magic money line is our full game side pick. If history is any indication, this game could easily turn into a high-scoring affair. The over has hit in 9 of the last 10 meetings between these teams, and there are plenty of reasons to believe it can cash again. One key factor is Orlando's ability to get to the free throw line, which should be aided by Sacramento's high foul rate. The Kings have also been lights out from 3-point range, and both teams have done a good job of generating second chance points while keeping turnovers in check. With efficient possessions and extra scoring opportunities on both ends, this game has all the makings of another shootout. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Brooklyn Nets versus Washington Wizards. 2 of the worst teams in the NBA's Eastern Conference are set to go head-to-head on Saturday, March 29th. It's not exactly a marquee matchup, but if you're into watching struggling squads battle it out, this one's for you. Both teams have already been mathematically eliminated from playoff contention, so there's really nothing on the line except pride, or maybe just trying to avoid complete embarrassment. The Brooklyn Nets come into this game with a rough 23-51 record, while the Washington Wizards sit even lower in the standings at 16-57. The Wizards have been in a downward spiral lately, losing 6 of their last 7 contests, though oddly enough, they've already beaten the Nets twice this season. Maybe that gives them a slight mental edge, but let's be real, neither team is bringing much momentum into this one. Injury-wise, the Nets will once again be without Noah Clowney and Day'Ron Sharpe, so don't expect much help coming from their front court depth. On the other side, the Wizards are dealing with even more absences, ruling out K.A. Tris Middleton, Saddiq Bey, and Corey Kispert. To make matters worse, Marcus Smart is listed as questionable, which means Washington could be missing another key player. Given how these teams have been performing, it's hard to trust either side right now. The Nets are coming off an absolute beatdown, losing by 32 points to the Clippers just last night. Playing on 0 days rest is never ideal, especially when you're already struggling. Then there's Washington, which just gave up an insane 162 points in a loss to Indiana on Thursday. That's not just bad defense, that's non-existent defense. I'll be honest, this betting line doesn't make much sense to me. Sure, the Wizards are a bad team, and they shouldn't be favored against many opponents, but they do have a few things working in their favor. For one, they're playing at home. For another, they have the rest advantage, since Brooklyn is coming off a back-to-back. And most importantly, what exactly have the Nets done lately to deserve being favored? They've lost 9 of their last 10 games. Meanwhile, Washington, as bad as they've been, has managed to beat Brooklyn twice already this season. History is on their side. If you need another reason to back them, consider that the underdog has covered in the last 4 meetings between these two teams. The Wizards have at least shown flashes of life, which is more than I can say for the Nets lately. As our first pick for this matchup, the Washington Wizards money line is our full game side pick. Brooklyn has been playing at a slow pace all season, and frankly, their offense just isn't good. They struggle to put points on the board consistently, which is why they rank near the bottom of the league in offensive efficiency. That said, if they're ever going to have a solid offensive outing, this is the game to do it. Washington's defense has been an absolute disaster, ranking 28th in the league in efficiency by allowing 116 points per 100 possessions. To put that into perspective, they just let Indiana drop 162 on them. That's not a fluke, that's just bad defense. There's no reason to believe they'll magically tighten things up between now and tip-off. On the flip side, the Wizards actually like to play fast. They're averaging 103.3 possessions per game, which is the 4th most in the NBA. That up-tempo style could push this game into a higher scoring affair, especially since neither team is exactly prioritizing defense at this stage of the season. Given that this is essentially a meaningless game filled with backups and reserves, I wouldn't expect a ton of effort on the defensive end. We're probably looking at a track meet with plenty of scoring opportunities on both sides. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Miami Heat versus Philadelphia 76ers. The Miami Heat are set to take on the Philadelphia 76ers this Saturday night in what should be an interesting matchup. The Heat come into this contest riding a 3-game winning streak, but that stat alone doesn't tell the whole story. Despite their recent success, they've only managed to win 3 of their last 10 games, struggling with inconsistency throughout the season. On the other hand, the 76ers are in free fall. This team has been ravaged by injuries and is currently on a 6-game losing streak, having dropped 9 of their last 10 contests. Simply put, things are looking rough for Philadelphia. Miami will once again be without Duncan Robinson and Andrew Wiggins, both of whom have already been ruled out. Alec Burks remains questionable, leaving the Heat with some lineup concerns of their own. However, their injury situation pales in comparison to that of the 76ers. Philadelphia will be without some of their biggest names, including Joel Embiid, Kyle Lowry, Paul George, and Tyrese Maxey. The only real advantage the Sixers have in this matchup is a bit of extra rest, as they haven't played since Wednesday. But with their roster in shambles, that rest might not be enough to make a real difference. The Heat have had their ups and downs this year, but they seem to have found some stability over the past week, and they will look to carry that momentum into this game. Injuries have completely derailed the 76ers season, with nearly their entire starting lineup unavailable. Forced to rely heavily on their younger, less experienced players, Philadelphia has struggled mightily on both ends of the court. They currently rank 21st in offensive rating and an abysmal 27th in defensive rating. The Sixers have lost 12 of their last 15 games and find themselves trailing 0-2 in their season series against Miami. Meanwhile, the Heat are beginning to build some late-season chemistry, making this a highly favorable matchup for them. Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo have been the backbone of Miami's squad, consistently playing at an all-star level. The supporting cast around them has also stepped up, making the Heat a much tougher opponent. Coming off an impressive offensive showing against a weak defensive team like the Hawks, Miami should have no trouble racking up points in this one. So far, the Heat have dominated the Sixers this season, winning both of their previous matchups, one at home and one in Philadelphia. With both teams dealing with significant injuries, this game is shaping up to be a battle of attrition. Unfortunately for Philadelphia, they are much worse off in that department, missing their top 3 scorers and potentially being without Andre Drummond as well. If Drummond is sidelined, the Sixers' rebounding will suffer even more, making it almost impossible for them to hold their own on the glass. This presents a huge opportunity for Bam Adebayo, who should have no problem securing extra possessions for Miami. The Heat aren't typically a dominant rebounding team, but they will have a clear edge in this matchup against a Sixers squad that ranks dead last in the NBA in rebounding. Additionally, Philadelphia is ranked 29th in turnover margin this season, something Miami's aggressive defense will surely exploit. With 3 straight wins under their belt, the Heat appear to be finding their rhythm as they prepare for the postseason. They've also been excellent against the spread lately, covering in 5 straight games. Meanwhile, the Sixers look like a team that just wants to get to the end of the season as quickly as possible. Philadelphia simply doesn't have the firepower to keep this game competitive. Their lack of offensive weapons combined with their defensive struggles will likely make this an easy win for Miami. As our first pick for this matchup, the Miami Heat to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. While the Heat are expected to dominate offensively, this game is unlikely to turn into a high-scoring shootout. Miami plays at one of the slowest tempos in the NBA, ranking 27th in pace. They average under 110 points per game and are near the bottom of the league in both field goals and free throws attempted per game. If Miami jumps out to an early lead, which is likely, they will probably slow things down even further in the second half, taking their foot off the gas. Meanwhile, the 76ers, who are relying on young and inexperienced players, have had a hard time generating points all season. Their three-point shooting has been subpar, and turnovers continue to be a major issue. Like Miami, Philadelphia also plays at a sluggish pace, ranking 26th in the league in that category. With both teams preferring to slow things down, this game is unlikely to turn into a high-scoring affair. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Boston Celtics versus San Antonio Spurs. On Saturday, the Boston Celtics will go head-to-head with the San Antonio Spurs at Frost Bank Center. This will be the second time these two teams clash this season. Their last meeting took place on February 12th, when Boston came out on top with a 116-103 victory over San Antonio. Looking at their last 10 matchups, the Celtics hold a slight edge with a 6-4 straight-up record. However, when it comes to covering the spread, the Spurs have actually been the better bet, also leading 6-4 against the spread. Interestingly, low-scoring affairs have been the trend between these teams, as the under has hit in 7 of their last 10 meetings. Boston continues to monitor the status of Peyton Pritchard and Al Horford, while the Spurs have once again ruled out Charles Bassey and De'Aaron Fox. Over the past 3 weeks, the Celtics have hardly skipped a beat, staying consistent with their strong performances. They are also coming into this matchup well-rested, having last played on Wednesday. On the other hand, San Antonio remains shorthanded, still missing 2 of their top players, which puts them at a significant disadvantage. For the first time in a while, the Celtics don't have a lengthy injury report to deal with. That being said, they are still a team that struggles to cover large spreads, even when heavily favored. The Spurs are clearly outmatched in talent, especially without their 2 best players. However, history has shown that Boston doesn't always dominate when expected to. The Celtics have gone just 4-10 against the spread in their last 14 games as a double-digit favorite, which speaks to their struggles in covering big numbers. Overall, they are 34-38-1 against the spread this season, which makes blindly backing them a risky proposition. While there's little reason to feel confident in the Spurs outright, the data suggests fading the Celtics when they are huge favorites has been a profitable move. As our first pick for this matchup, the San Antonio Spurs to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The over is also an appealing option in this game. Boston has the offensive firepower to pile up points and could very well break into the 130 seconds. Meanwhile, San Antonio, despite their struggles, has a capable enough offense to contribute to the total, likely scoring into the 100 seconds. The numbers also support this bet. The Spurs have hit the over in 40 of their 72 games this season and play at a relatively fast pace of 101.1 possessions per game. Additionally, they rank 14th in offensive efficiency, meaning they can put up points even against strong defenses. The Celtics, on the other hand, boast the second best offensive efficiency in the league, ensuring that both teams should be able to find enough success on that end of the floor to push the total over. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.